Welcome to Kaywon Action Star. Watch. Inmate 68,815. I'm giving you a chance at liberty, Mr. Ames. The movie opens with Jensen Ames, a former convict and blue-collar laborer, grappling with grim circumstances. The steel factory he works at has abruptly closed its doors, leaving employees unpaid. Outrage spreads quickly, leading to an impromptu rally outside the facility. Emotions boil over, and riot officers respond with immediate and brutal force. Witnessing fellow workers assaulted, Jensen springs into action, flooring multiple enforcers before vanishing into the chaos. By the time he reaches his residence, dusk has fallen. He embraces his wife, then climbs upstairs to look in on their infant, unaware that a masked assailant is already lurking inside. In a matter of seconds, the intruder slaughters Jensen's wife in the kitchen. As Jensen descends, the attacker strikes from behind, rendering him unconscious. Before vanishing, the killer places the murder weapon in Jensen's grasp and tauntingly signals toward him, ensuring he'll be blamed. Moments later, Jensen awakens to flashing sirens and armed officers who burst in to arrest him for a murder he didn't commit. Half a year later, Jensen is transferred to Terminal Island Penitentiary. His reception is anything but kind. Guard Ulrich greets him with a blast of ice-cold water, followed by a savage beating from another guard. He's soon placed in a cell with 3 hostile inmates eager to break him. Hours pass, and when Ulrich checks in expecting a broken man, he finds all 3 convicts sprawled out, unconscious. The following day, Jensen enters the prison cafeteria and immediately draws eyes. Inmates coach, Gunnar, and List study him from a distance, recognizing him as a former street racing legend whose promising career ended in misfortune. Tension brews when Pachinko and an associate approach, spitting in his meal and branding him a murderer and child beater. Enraged, Jensen lashes out, but before the brawl spirals, guards restrain him and drag him off. He's taken to the office of Warden Claire Hennessy. She's fully aware of his past, his skills, notoriety, and especially his mastery behind the wheel. She presents a proposal: assume the mantle of Frankenstein, the infamous masked racer. The reality is that the actual Frankenstein perished after his final race, but the public remains oblivious. Since the persona draws massive viewership, Hennessy insists the illusion must endure. She tempts Jensen with an enticing promise: one last win in the death race would grant him freedom. Frankenstein had 4 victories, Jensen just needs a 5th. Still, he's reluctant. Racing in a lethal demolition derby is far from simple. Hennessy, however, leaves no room for refusal, threatening solitary confinement and ensuring he can't reveal the truth. Backed into a corner, Jensen concedes. He's escorted to the prison's garage, where he meets Coach and his engineering crew, the team that built Frankenstein's vehicle. They brief him. Every racer competes alone, no partnerships. Jensen also observes a secluded workshop where Hennessy is covertly constructing something massive. Coach unveils his new ride, a heavily fortified Mustang V8 fastback equipped with artillery and reinforced plating. But ammunition is only installed during race days to thwart escape attempts. Coach makes it clear, there's no fleeing the island. The sole way out is a guarded bridge lined with patrols and choppers. Later, in the exercise yard, Coach explains the race's structure: 3 segments. The first 2 emphasize destruction, eliminating opponents. The final round prioritizes speed, the first to finish wins. Each contestant is assigned a navigator, typically a woman from the neighboring facility. Joe is the lone exception. He burns through navigators so fast that it even alarms the viewers. Jensen listens as List runs down the main contenders. First is 14K, a fierce triad enforcer with a surprising past. Before incarceration, he graduated from MIT. Then there's Hector Grimm, an unhinged maniac devoted to Hennessy. Next is Slovak Pachinko, an Aryan Brotherhood ringleader notorious for his cruelty on and off the track. Lastly, Travis Colt, a tarnished ex-NASCAR driver chasing redemption. Suddenly, Joe and his entourage confront Jensen, making it clear, this race is between them. At that moment, a prison transport van returns inmates from labor duty. Jensen notices something unsettling: the prisoners are wearing GPS tracking bracelets. A wave of realization crashes over him. The same device was on the man who murdered his wife. Before he can fully process it, the opening round of the race commences. Fully suited as Frankenstein, Jensen dons the iconic attire, helmet, and insignia. His reappearance electrifies the audience, reigniting dwindling viewership. Coach instructs him to stay silent around fellow racers. Frankenstein's aura depends on mystery. Once in the car, he can ditch the mask, windows are tinted. His co-pilot, Case, already knows his real identity. As they prepare, Jensen asks about her background. She reveals that she killed her abusive husband, a police officer, out of necessity. Before they delve deeper, the countdown begins. The initial lap is mild, no firepower until the second round, but that doesn't stop drivers from ramming each other. With Case's direction, Jensen keeps pace with Joe. She then identifies a hidden route, allowing Jensen to gain the lead. As lap 2 starts, Hennessy activates the track's armaments. Racers must drive over specific sensors to enable their weapons. The contest spirals into carnage. To escalate the thrill, Hennessy deploys death heads, deadly hazards scattered across the course. Grimm is the first to capitalize, smashing a competitor into a trap and killing him instantly. He slows Joe with an oil slick, but his luck runs out. 14K fires a missile, knocking Grimm off course. As Grimm stumbles out of his wreck, Joe mows him down without hesitation. Jensen gets his weapon systems online, but the machine gun malfunctions at a critical moment. Case, fearless, crawls onto the hood mid-race to repair it. While bullets rain down, Jensen's expert steering keeps her alive. Once back in the seat, they continue their charge. The violence escalates. Jensen snatches a shield trigger from Colt, but his defenses fail to engage. The rear is pummeled. Thinking fast, Jensen hatches a plan. He instructs Case to unclip the napalm tank and climb onto his lap. With perfect coordination, he ejects her seat, launching the tank at Colt's ride. Case tosses the lighter. The vehicle erupts into flames. Jensen now faces Joe alone. Just then, a haunting moment, Pachinko, ahead, signals with the same gesture the killer used the night his wife died. Jensen freezes. Joe capitalizes, smashing into him and sending him to the back of the pack. Pachinko snags first. When the dust settles, 3 racers are dead, 6 remain. Back at the garage, Coach inspects the car. Nothing seems faulty, everything should have worked. Growing suspicious, Jensen confronts Hennessy, alleging she orchestrated his wife's assassination, manipulated the race, and used Pachinko as a pawn. Hennessy doesn't admit anything. Instead, she plays her trump card, a photo of his daughter, now in foster care. If he wants to reunite, he must continue cooperating. Trapped, Jensen returns to Coach and asks why he wears no inmate number. Coach explains he's technically free, his sentence ended years ago. But after so long inside, he stayed. The races gave him meaning. He also confides that he never believed Jensen was guilty. Soon after, Jensen shadows Pachinko to his team's workspace. Once inside, he's ambushed. Pachinko lands several punches, lifting a heavy tool to end it. But List stabs him in the back with a pen. Seizing the opportunity, Jensen disarms the rest. Then, consumed with fury, he thrashes Pachinko. With nowhere to hide, Pachinko confesses, Hennessy ordered the hit, and Ulrich delivered him to the house. Before Jensen can end it, guards intervene. The next morning, just before stage 2, Pachinko mocks him with the same hand sign. This time, Jensen shows no reaction. As the race starts, he detours into a tunnel and confronts Case. He accuses her of murdering the original Frankenstein and tampering with the car. She finally admits she disabled the weapons under Hennessy's orders for early parole. The plan wasn't to kill, just sabotage. But desperation led to Frankenstein's demise. Armed with truth, Jensen returns to the fray. He zeroes in on Pachinko. They battle fiercely, trading blows and near misses. Then Jensen pulls a wild move. He triggers his weapons, spins backward, and unloads gunfire. Pachinko's car crashes violently. Jensen approaches and snaps his neck. Meanwhile, Joe swaps navigators for the final leg. Hennessy reveals her trump card, the Dreadnought, a massive war rig loaded with weapons. It tears through the course, flattening racers and demolishing buildings. It corners 14K, tortures his navigator, and obliterates his vehicle. Only Jensen and Joe remain. Jensen contacts Lists and syncs communications. He and Joe flank the Dreadnought, dodging fire and activating a trap. The behemoth crashes and flips. Stage 2 concludes. Only Jensen and Joe are left. That night, Joe remarks that Jensen sounds an awful lot like Frankenstein. Elsewhere, Hennessy and Ulrich plot his demise. Ulrich hides a bomb beneath Jensen's car. As Hennessy gives a speech, Jensen realizes a disturbing truth. No one has ever claimed 5 wins. The race is a lie. Coach shows him a recording of Grimm's death, sparking inspiration. Jensen instructs Lists to install a hidden fuel tank. He visits Joe and proposes an escape. Hennessy hands Jensen his release papers but insists he remain as Frankenstein. She claims his daughter is better off without him. He silently pockets the documents. As the last round starts, Ulrich sabotages the track, targeting Joe and damaging Jensen's car. Joe retaliates, destroying the defense panel. More rockets hit a wall, Jensen's escape route. Instead of finishing, they flee. Hennessy cuts the feed and orders pursuit. She detonates the bomb, but it fails. Coach had disarmed it. Jensen and Joe dash toward the bridge. Jensen drops the spare fuel tank, detonating it to block the cops. They split. Choppers pursue Jensen. Back in prison, Case plays her part. Armed with release documents, she drives Jensen's car across the line. Guards capture her, mistaking her for Frankenstein. Jensen slips away unnoticed. Half a year later, Jensen and Joe run an auto garage in Santa Rosalia, Mexico. Jensen now has custody of his daughter. One day, Case pulls up, finally free, and brings a fresh set of wheels. A clean slate, a new beginning. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to this channel for more beautiful recaps like this. Put down your comments below to let me know what you think about the turn of events in this storyline. And also give my video a thumbs up to further motivate me. Share too for others to enjoy. Until my next recap, cheers!